Greetings, everyone. I'm Michael Snellen, and this is my very special presentation of World Youth Day 2023. I'm just going to go through a quick overview of the events, what pilgrims should prepare for, what they need to bring, a few of the common questions. I'll provide a few of the answers that this traveling company is providing, the traveling company that my group is using to go on this trip. So yeah, you see the globe here. I thought this would be a good place to start with, just the world. Let me get the theme song going. So World Youth Day has their own theme songs. I suppose they make them every year. I have no idea what it says. Well, actually, there's the lyrics. Um, From far and wide to gather in this place, we spread our wings, and here we are. And with Mary proclaiming our yes, we seek to serve and follow the will of the Lord our Father. Yeah, that's all the lyrics, I think. It's just a very simple song. We'll play that as I try to find Lisbon. So that's where we'll be going, the capital of Portugal. And there it is. So I got it on the first try. That's the field where the Pope will be saying Mass. So I believe that's on a Wednesday. You can see they're preparing a bit. They're getting the grounds ready. I wish we could see over the hill there, but I don't believe we can. But we will take a look at Lisbon, right beside the ocean, or not. I don't know if you call that the ocean. It's a bit in the country, that water area there. Um, yeah, it's a pretty big city, right along the coastline. I'm sure there's plenty of tourist destinations. I'm not sure what airport everyone's going to be coming in. I would assume it's this huge airport right in the middle of the capital. Um, yeah, I can't read half the names. I think that's a zoo. That's a museum. I'm sure there's plenty of Catholic churches. So that looks like a beautiful museum right there. Yeah, we'll start looking at the event. So the Pope is scheduled to visit that Wednesday, and I believe this is showing that there's 40 days until that visit. I'm not sure if it's counting the date until the Pope comes or until everyone comes. I believe some people are getting there a few days early. Yeah, 40 days and 22 hours. That means it's a good time to fast for 40 days to get some extra preparation in. There will be plenty of walking. Fasting for 40 days is a good way to get better at walking. Um, Maybe not, but we'll continue along. So here's the schedule that the Pope has. Um, See, just some basic stuff. The official welcome, that's on August 2nd. The President of the Republic, a visit with the President, a meeting with the authorities, a meeting with the Prime Minister. Then, yeah, that seems cool. The Vespers with the bishops, the priests, the deacons, consecrated persons, seminarians, and pastoral workers. Uh, Thursday, we have some meetings with young people. I'm not sure where those will take place exactly, but yeah, you just see like this general pattern: lunch with young people, confession, stations of the cross. Then on Saturday, there's the big vigil. So that'll be lots of people sleeping outside. Um, a nice rosary recitation. That'll be in Fatima, so at the Fatima Stadium. Um, yeah, Sunday we have the Mass at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm not sure what the time difference is for Fatima, but I'm sure it's a huge time difference, so make sure to wake up for that. Um, the Pope will be leaving that night after his farewell ceremony. He'll be back in Rome. I'm sure a few of us will still be around in Portugal. We'll be visiting all these different sites. Uh, so, yeah, we'll have to wish the Pope a warm goodbye trip. So, yeah, just some general stuff. There's a youth festival, 290 concerts, 55 religious events, 38 conferences, 6 dance groups. I'm not much for dancing, however. There are also 10 plays, 10 exhibitions, and 15 films. You have to watch all 15. Um, Sports, I know there's some sports teams I saw that people can sign up for if you're interested in that. Um, yeah, we'll just kind of jump right into these frequently asked questions. So JMJ Youth, they're the company, pilgrimage company. It stands for Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, I believe. Not 100% sure about that, but that's what I assume. Um, so yeah, they have all these sections: communication, what to expect, medical concerns, packing. That'll be a huge one. But we'll just kind of go through each one of these. I'll summarize them for you briefly. We'll try to make this video pretty short. So yeah, that's a bit about the traveling group, which I'm not sure how many of the pilgrims are using this group. Registration. If you're watching this video now, I'm pretty sure you've already registered, so that isn't of importance to us. Communication. Will I have access to the internet? Hold on a second. I'm going to make a banner here so when people watch this video, they can skip through the sections. So yeah, there's communication. Will I have access to the internet? Some hostels and most hotels have internet access, and more cafes and retailers are providing Wi-Fi for their customers. It is not always free, however, thus the need to bring extra money to Portugal. What's the best way to call home? So a Skype account or FaceTime for Apple, WhatsApp. It is free through the internet between computers and cell phones running the app. So yeah, that is a very good thing to do. Just to use like WhatsApp instead of changing like the SIMs cards and messing with that. Just tell your family to download WhatsApp, and then you can contact them all you like. Yeah, data charges still apply, of course. You can also buy credit to call landlines. It seems a little outdated. However, the option's there. So will your cell phone work in Portugal? So it says you should call your cell phone company for the details of whether your particular phone is set up to work there and what an international plan will cost you. So yeah, like even this traveling group, they recommend that only the chaperones bring cell phones. I bet like a lot of young people don't listen to that advice. However, like roaming charges can be expensive. If your phone is unlocked and can support it, you can purchase SIM cards in Portugal and make calls back to North America. I'm pretty sure you can buy SIM cards in America and vice versa. So chaperones may wish to check with their provider about international data plans. It may be the best way to text or send email updates to families back home. So yeah, it is important to be able to contact your family. Maybe for a lot of us, it'd be a good way to get away from some of these people back in America. A good excuse to get away from them. However, even if you have a functional cell phone, it may not work, as cell towers typically don't have the capacity to handle the volume of traffic during large events. So this event could have anywhere from 1 million to 3 million people. That's a lot of cell phone traffic. So do be prepared for that. Yes, especially during the vigil, where like 2 million people are all going to be in the same park. Yeah, good luck with that. We'll see how that is. Walkie-talkies are a great way for groups to keep communication. Lastly, how often will you be able to get in touch with your family at home? Um, so yeah, while it might be possible for some groups to access the internet almost daily, there may be a few days when everyone um, can't access the internet, such as like that vigil, I suppose. Um, yeah, it recommends that each group sets up an email list or Facebook group so that they can message all these families. So yeah, you could probably even schedule something like this every night. Mom, I'm fine. I'm still in Portugal. Um, that's what I would do. But yeah, so it is rare in our modern times that we are ever fully unplugged. Uh, Detachment is one of the greatest blessings of a pilgrimage, and that's definitely what I'm looking forward to get away from this screen. Um, yeah, definitely allows time for you to hear God. God speaks in silence. Um, Continuing, we'll go to what to expect. So let me change out the banner here. So what's the weather like? So World Youth Day will take place in the summer, so the climate can be warm. During that time, the average temperature in Lisbon is 65 to 83 degrees Fahrenheit. And rain is infrequent, but still possible. So check the 10-day forecast when you're packing. So while you're packing, make sure to watch the news, turn on the news in the background, or the weather channel, I mean. Um, yeah, weather can be unusual, especially during World Youth Days when you're trying to plan it perfectly. Yeah, so food. The food in Portugal is made with simple ingredients that are impeccably prepared. The flavors are fresh and wholesome, and the most popular dishes are caldo verde and green soup. Portuguese cod fish, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word, bafanas, a traditional pork sandwich, and chicken piri piri, a spicy chicken dish cooked with an African spice known as peri peri. Um, yeah, that's another thing to be prepared for. Speaking Portuguese, Spanish. I didn't pay much attention in Spanish class, so I'll hopefully be um, listening to the translator in my group. I'm not sure who that is. Can we drink the water? The question we all wanted to ask. Yes, you can safely drink the tap water in Portugal. You'll see plenty of Portuguese people buying bottled water, but that's just because it tastes nicer. I think the Portuguese say the same thing about America. If they come to America, can we drink this water? Um, so yeah, how will we get around when traveling with this company? I'm not sure this really applies to everyone. You'll be transferred to and from the airport by bus. The rest of the pilgrimage will require walking. Public transport in Portugal consists of buses, metros, and trains. But this is World Youth Day, so train yourself in advance to do a lot of walking. Um, yeah, to start walking around your yard or your neighborhood. Or if you're crazy like me and you get bored, just walk around your apartment. I like to do that sometimes. Um, there's not much area to walk around outside this small town. Um, yeah, not to get too sidetracked. What is the schedule of events? So we have, so yeah, this isn't exact. The itinerary isn't exact. And then there's these smaller events that will be popping up as we grow closer to the actual start date. But that Tuesday will be the opening mass celebrated by a local bishop. I'm assuming this information is still correct. There's the youth festival events. They take place at evening at various locations. There's the next day, there's catechesis, um, which just means teaching sessions. I think those are like talks or whatnot. I saw Bishop Barron giving a talk That girl from Ascension Presents giving a talk at the last World Youth Day, so we'll see who we get for those. But there is, what does that mean? Morning until lunch. I think it's kind of like a typo. Yeah, I see lunch, so I'm assuming we'll be doing those catechesis sessions up until lunch that entire morning throughout the area. Moving along, the youth festival events that Wednesday will last through the evening. On that Thursday, there will be some more catechesis sessions. Same deal. Then, the big thing, you'll have the papal arrival, where the Pope will come. He'll drive the Pope mobile through the field. More festival events throughout the evening, except the Pope. The Pope kind of stops everything when he comes for that arrival. So be on the lookout for the Pope. You can't miss him. He wears a white hat. That Friday, more catechesis. Stations of the Cross. So, I'm a big fan of the Stations of the Cross. St. Alphonsus Liguori. It's my patron saint. That'll be interesting to see. More youth festival events. On the Saturday, there will be a pilgrimage walk to the vigil site. A plan to begin early in the morning and camp out for the day and night. I think people will just kind of set up their tent and remain there the entire day and watch the sun go down. I'm sure people will be talking and there will be events during that time. But just sitting out in the field and waiting for the sun to go down also sounds pretty entertaining. Sleeping under the stars. I tried to do that one time just in my own woods, and then there were some hunters coming through, so I was looking at the stars, of course, but then I heard like 30 gunshots, and I quickly ran back home. That was the last time I tried that. The next Sunday, there will be the final Mass celebrated by the Pope. The announcement of the next host city for the next World Youth Day. And then there will be at the vigil site many events. Then, of course, there will be the pilgrims journeying back to their lodging. And so I looked at my lodging. It's kind of like a gym. So be prepared to kind of rough it out. Trading items. Many pilgrims from across the world bring small items such as stickers, pins, keychains, patches, and flags to trade with pilgrims from other countries. They can represent your parish, school, city, state, or country. It is not obligatory to bring trading items. It's just for fun. I was imagining if you didn't bring a trading item, they would have kicked you out of World Youth Day, sent you back packing to your home country. However, that's not the case. Definitely bring something. What am I going to bring? I'll think of that later. Medical concerns. So, what shots or vaccines do you need to visit Portugal? It is recommended to be current on routine vaccinations before every trip. The vaccines include measles, mumps, rubella, or the MMR vaccine. I'm going to have a really hard time pronouncing these next few vaccines. The diphtheria, tetanitis, pertussis vaccine. So I saw tetanitis. I'm assuming that's the tetanitis vaccine. Varicella or chickenpox vaccine, the polio vaccine, and your yearly flu shot. So for more general information, please refer to the country information from the United States Department of State. If you just look on your passport, the passport website, you'll see that. So does World Youth Day provide medical insurance? They haven't announced it yet, but they typically do provide basic medical coverage and the registration fee. Um, and that includes treatment during World Youth Day. And they had to clarify, and nothing more. So you don't get too special of treatment. They will patch you up and send you off. So maybe bring a few extra Band-Aids. I'm a little concerned now, though. Just patch you up and throw you back into the mix. So yeah, have your own medical insurance. Yeah, that is going to be a bit difficult to have like 1 million people and to provide medical insurance for all of them. Um, you never know what might happen at a World Youth Day. So do you need additional medical insurance when you go to World Youth Day? Again, you should check with your insurance company to see if and under what terms you have coverage in Portugal. Many policies will cover you, though you must pay up front and be reimbursed later. If you do not have coverage, you can buy traveler's medical insurance online, and they highly recommend the volunteer card. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but please go over to www.volunteercard.com to learn more. Um, so what do you do if you have prescription medications? So you should bring those in the original bottles. You don't want to get kicked out of an airport. That has never happened to me yet. We'll see if this is the first time. I've never been on a plane, so that probably explains why it hasn't happened yet. Um, Critical medication. You should try to bring a backup prescription order from your doctor just in case you lose your medication. Um, it says everyone suffers when someone loses their medication, especially your group. So definitely put that in your bag, your travel bag. Don't forget that. So other health precautions. It is a good idea for someone in the group to have a first aid kit containing diarrhea and constipation medication, as well as medications for cold and flu. Airborne or emergency may be helpful supplements for travel as well. It is also important to prepare your body in advance for the demands of a pilgrimage by eating healthfully, exercising, drinking a lot of water, and getting plenty of sleep during the weeks leading up to your trip. Packing. So we'll go through this section. This section is going to take a bit longer, but it is really the most important section. You don't want to get there without anything. You have to bring some things to World Youth Day. So what if you accidentally forget something at your house and need it? So Lisbon is very well developed. Everything you need will be available there, including toiletries and clothing. If you are questioning that you might not need something, don't bring it. So yeah, you can perhaps buy a lot of this stuff there once you get there. That'll save you a lot of packing troubles. Laundry facilities. This is the real question everyone wanted to ask. So they're almost always available, these laundries. A sink and your two hands. So that's a good surprise. I love washing my clothes in the sink. Hand washing clothing may not be feasible in simple accommodations. A good rule is to wash one or two things. I said wash, not wash, as we say here in the South, here in Kentucky. Wash one or two things per night and let them hang to dry. If you are in need of a washer and dryer, the availability varies by location. Laundromats services are available in Lisbon, with some hotels having laundry service for their patrons. However, time to go to a laundromat is less available. So yeah, I can just imagine 1 million people trying to do their laundry. It's almost like me trying to do my laundry at my parents' house when there was 5 young children there. So you have to carry your belongings every single day, constantly keeping them on your back. We'll see if that's the case. It reads, you will be able to leave your belongings at your lodging during the day and during the vigil, while taking with you only what you need. Never leave anything behind that you don't want to lose. That is very wise advice for about anything in life. And here is a master list of all the highly recommended items. So yeah, to recount, 65 through 85 degree weather with a slight chance of rain. Yeah, let's start with the highly recommended. Let's start with the don't bring. So don't bring things you wouldn't want to lose, heavy things, electronic things for your hair. That goes for the women. Illegal items. We will not bail you out. Jewelry. All right. I'm sure there's a few more things they could say don't bring, but people will still bring them. So do bring a backpack or suitcase, carry-on size, a passport. Definitely don't forget your passport. I'm glad they reminded me. I would have never thought of that. I'm not joking, by the way. I literally don't know where my passport is right now. I think it's back in one of my rooms, back in one of my closets. So yeah, also take a picture of it to keep on your phone. So yeah, just take a picture and tape it to the back of your phone. Email yourself and a family member a copy of that. Do bring a joyful spirit. So that applies definitely to some of you out there. Fourthly, a money belt worn under your clothing. So yeah, make sure it's immune to pickpocketing. You don't want that. I'm sure there's lots of pickpocketers in Lisbon during the World Youth Day. Yeah, have something compact, a microfiber sleeping bag or sleep sack to sleep on, or just sleep on the ground. Either way, depending on how much penance you are in need of. So, emergency blanket, foil. Yeah, I'm not sure what it means by foil, but once when I slept outside or tried to sleep outside, I brought, forget exactly what it was. Yeah, I think it was just aluminum foil. Like the stuff you see on the rocket ships are in the rocket ships. It does keep you warm, so definitely think about that. Yeah, this is a must-have. Don't forget the rosary and or your scapular. Um, Spending money. You got to bring euros. Prescription medication. Sunglasses. You have to look cool when you're in Portugal. Compact inflatable camping mats for one night on the ground at the vigil. So yeah, if you really want to rough it out, just don't bring that and just sleep on your sleeping bag. I think that'll be a better experience. A more memorial. You'll remember that experience more, uh, especially the day after when your back hurts. So yeah, bathroom items. Bring a small towel, a travel size soap, shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, toothpaste, sunscreen, a brush. So yeah, if you're a man, I recommend that you just shave your head like I did. Um, that wasn't exactly the reason I did that, because I'm going on this trip. But yeah, if you're a man, just shave your head. Then you want to bring half of this stuff. But yeah, if you're a woman, bring a brush, glasses, contacts, solution. Yeah, make sure these are travel size. A few of these, or a few of them are cheap. Don't spend too much money on your shampoo. I'm sure other people will probably try to take your shampoo once they remember that they didn't bring any. So definitely don't bring anything you don't want to lose on this trip. So clothing, bring 5 to 6 shirts, one to wear on the airplane, including one long sleeve shirt for layering, 2 pairs of your choice, pants, capris, or a skirt. So yeah, pants, capris, or a skirt. It's definitely important right there, because I heard from just my travel guide that some churches won't let you in if you're not wearing the appropriate attire. So definitely keep that in mind. Yeah, see, it says right here, shorts aren't allowed in churches. So it only recommends to bring one pair of shorts. Yeah, I thought of the idea, like if you just bring a pair of pants, you can cut the ends of the pants off, and then you suddenly have shorts. So that might be a good packing tip for some of you. Flip flops for showers. Definitely bring that. This is an embarrassing story, but once I went to college, I didn't bring any shower shoes, and so I kind of developed a rash. Um, yeah, definitely bring shower shoes. So swimsuit, um, a sweatshirt, or a thin hoodie. I'm guessing that's something to sleep in. Um, and then lastly, definitely don't forget your socks or underwear. So some optional items here, and this video is supposed to last 10 minutes, but once I get talking, I'll talk for an hour. So we don't have much after this. We'll quickly wrap things up. We'll go through these quickly. Pajamas, a hat, a small umbrella, items to trade, a group flag, earplugs, a lock for your lockers, a basic over-the-counter medicine kit, or just bring a few like ibuprofens. That'll do the job. Band-aids or a blister care kit. That's definitely something to consider. Blisters, you have to prepare for blisters. Bug spray. It is the summer, so bring bug spray. Um, a journal with a pen. Don't forget your pencil. You can't just bring the journal. Protein bars, a small nylon bag for your dirty clothes, shaving razors, a thing of laundry soap, Ziploc bags for stuff. So you can always find something to do with Ziploc bags. Um, so a tarp for the shade ground covered the vigil. And so you can kind of collaborate in your packing with other pilgrims. So the group just needs to bring a tarp. You don't need every person to bring a tarp. That might get chaotic. Going back a bit, safety pins, a washcloth, and a deck of cards or a frisbee. Things along those lines. So yeah, going on to baggage limits. Luggage restrictions vary from airline to airline and often cost money to check a bag. Refer directly to your airline for details. So this traveling company recommends that you limit your luggage to one carry-on and, if absolutely necessary, one moderately sized checked bag. If you have a flight on, um, we'll ignore that. Pretend like I didn't say that. Start saying that. So, clothing. It may be very warm during the day. Christian guidelines of modesty still apply. Definitely very important, modesty. Consider lightweight clothing that dries quickly. This will make it easier to hand wash, and drying a few things that you do not bring. What does that mean? We'll just continue on. So hand wash one or two things each day, and you will not run out of clean clothes. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Consider like exactly how much clothes you're actually going to wear. Place the things you think you absolutely need on your bed, and then pack half of what you see. So that's always the thing. People bring way more stuff than they need. Always, for every type of trip. Bring a carry-on backpack that weighs no more than 20 pounds. Everything. Put everything in that backpack. No more than 20 pounds. Perhaps you could start weightlifting and you might be able to raise that 20 pounds up to like 30 pounds. But we are getting close to the trip, so maybe not enough time for strength gains of that nature. So, yeah, they note that people have brung suitcases weighing 75 pounds. So yeah, that does cause a lot of anxiety and trouble and sore backs. So yeah, just bring a medium-sized backpack or suitcase with everything you need. Get on the public transportation in your city, go to the mall, and walk around it for 5 hours. So yeah, 5 hours on the mark. Walk up and down every stairway you see. Um, this is a hint of what it is like to move around at World Youth Day. And we are confident that you will be inspired to pack more lightly with a smaller backpack. So yeah, they're very incessant about this, not without good cause. Uh, yeah, so it'll definitely, again, it will help each pilgrim to pack lighter if one or two people bring items to be used by the entire group, like a first aid kit, bug spray, or sunscreen. Um, yeah, just coordinate things. You can always buy stuff in Lisbon. Always remember that. It's a pretty good country. They have a lot of things. But yeah, money. We can really. Should we change the section title? We'll keep moving along. The euro is used in Portugal, so purchase these in advance. Um, most money changers have gone out of business because of cell phone payments. Debit cards are the easiest and cheapest way to get cash once you're there. Don't forget your debit card. Check the fees your bank will charge you. Make sure your debit card has a 4-digit PIN. And that reminds me, I think I changed my PIN number. Now I have no idea what my PIN number is. It always takes me like 3 tries. And the people at the banks or the post office, they always think I'm like impersonating Michael Snellen. And it probably doesn't help now that I don't have hair. They probably think I'm just some stranger trying to definitely steal some money. So yeah, know your PIN, bring your debit card. Credit cards are also a good way to buy almost anything in Portugal. Visa and MasterCard are accepted almost anywhere. American Express in very few places. So yeah, just get Visa. Everyone has Visa nowadays. Ask your bank, once again, about transaction fees. Travelers' checks are obsolete. That ties into the money belt. You will absolutely need a money belt. In it, you will keep your passport, money, emergency numbers, credit card, and other important papers. You can get these at luggage stores or online. Never, ever, ever use a purse or wallet. You will attract all kinds of thieves. So yeah, that makes me think, what's a money belt? It seems like you're just carrying a belt. I imagine like a soldier carrying a belt of ammo with like money and your passport and your credit card. That might be a bigger target than a wallet. However, I think they're something more hidden. So also, don't bring a fanny pack. Not to call out people who wear fanny packs, but those are also a favorite of the petty criminals. Luggage. If you have a checked bag on a flight with a connection, make sure all of your important items are in your carry-on. Medication, camera, and one change of clothing. Just in case like the flight crash lands and you have to change your clothes because you'll be stuck on an abandoned island for a few days. But yeah, they say because you may never see your bag again. So I imagine that's happened before. People got on the airport or got on the plane more so, and they just lose their bag. But they still go to World Youth Day. So it is good to have one change of clothing in case that scenario happens to you. Do not lock your checked bag because TSA might clip the lock to check the contents. Medications. If you are bringing a prescription medication, get an extra prescription from the doctor in case the medicine gets lost. Make sure you bring medication in its original bottle. Again, just I think this is like a summary of everything. So to call home, use Skype, WhatsApp, those things we talked about. Talking about cell phones. Please use it only for necessities and don't cry if you lose it. That's harsh advice for a lot of young people nowadays. I can only imagine, like if my young sisters lost their phones, they'd be crying for days. You would hear the supplications from the village all the way in heaven. Electrical outlets. In Portugal, the standard voltage is 220-degree volts, and the frequency is 50 hertz. They use European two-pronged round plug outlets. So I think that's what Americans use as well. And see, I should definitely know this because I took a year and a half of electronics, graduated with an associate's degree in this. Yeah, I kind of decided I didn't want to do that. And so now this is bringing these flashbacks, these nightmares, more aptly. Just seeing voltage or hertz after these numbers. Those are math is my least favorite thing in the world. So even just seeing numbers always provides flashbacks to my high school math classes. So hiking. Keep in mind that you will be outdoors a majority of the time. You will walk and walk and walk and walk long and far. Tips for backpacking hikers are largely applicable here. Your shoes should be well broken in. Your backpack should be comfortable to carry. Your clothes should be comfortable and preferably sweat wicking, quick drying. A camelback or similar hydration bladder is a lightweight, compact means of staying hydrated. You should be prepared for a lack of bathrooms. So definitely prepare for all of that. Yeah, I once jogged a marathon. I'm not going to say ran it because it took me like 6 hours to do that. But the thing you learn is like the first day I started running, I would have been able to do a marathon probably. Your body has about 70% more capabilities than you think. Like you get about 10% to your exhaustion point and your body starts sending these signals to stop. You just have to ignore those. So keep that in mind as you walk. Just think our ancestors used to walk 10 miles a day. They didn't have as good shoes as we have. So let's switch sections here. Money. I think we need like a music break or something. This video has been going on forever. We need to play that World Youth Day theme again. Turn it on. About 6 seconds. It's not a bad song. I kind of got lost here. So I have like 1,000 tabs open. That's one of my vices, having many tabs open. Let me make the screen bigger. Hopefully it is big enough for everyone to read. So what is the currency in Portugal? The euro. So I feel like we're kind of repeating ourselves here, but people can kind of skim through these sections. If you see a section you're interested in, just go to that section. Or if you've been stuck with me this entire video, firstly, I apologize, but we'll wrap things up. We only have about 5 more sections to go through, and the others are very short. So the euro. Tourists who are not familiar with this currency must keep in mind the subunits refer to 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, and 50 cents, and they come in coins. Coins also refer to 1 and 2 euro coins. Banknotes refer to 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, 20, and $500 euro bills. So I have no idea what that means. Don't ask me. I'm the wrong guy. I just present the information. My grandpa told me back when he was in the army, he would just bring a wad of this Egyptian cash and kind of hand it to the merchant. And the merchant, of course, was a kind merchant, so he would hand back the correct amount. So you can play that risk if you want. I'm sure things will kind of make sense once you get there and kind of adapt. But how much money will you need to bring? So how many meals will you need to provide? So a lot of people are getting basic meals for the week, but not breakfast. So yeah, it depends on your lodging, really. Cafe meals cost from 6 to 10 US dollars. I'm sure they're struggling with inflation there in Europe as well, especially if the war is in the East. So yeah, it just depends, really. Finer eating may cost around $10 to $15. So yeah, just kind of estimate how much money do you spend on fast food here? Are you a dollar menu type of person, or do you like to burn a lot of money on food? So, yeah, and they have grocery stores as well. So you can always just buy your food there. It depends. I'm kind of trying to summarize as I read. So we'll just go to the next section. Credit or debit card. You can use both of these. MasterCard and Visa are commonly accepted, but not always American Express. Do note that if you are the unfortunate person to have American Express. I don't know many people who use that. So, yeah, you can always. Portugal is a pretty modern country, so they have like these swipes. You can always swipe, even at street vendors or smaller markets. There are banks throughout the country. Huge surprise. Lisbon has banks, ATMs as well. So yeah, definitely bring a credit card, even if you bring cash, because credit cards are a good safety net for emergencies. Do call your credit card company before you leave home to let them know your travel plans, so that you don't want to get locked out of your credit card when you're there. Where should you stash your cash? In your money belt, which will be worn under your pants and only comes off when you shower. So yeah, make sure it's comfortable. Um, Around the neck holders, uh, it doesn't recommend those. Yes, again, you should put credit cards, your passport and documentation with your cash in these money belts. Keep a small amount of cash in your sock or front pocket. Some hotels may have safes, and you can keep your passport there if your lodging does have that. If you are coming from a country outside the European Union, you will need to change your currency to euros. So do this before going abroad. You could do it about half and half, maybe half outside the country, half there. Just see what you need once you get there. Yeah, it does have a fee to do that. Yeah, contact your bank regarding that. Tipping in Portugal, tipping 5 to 10% maximum in restaurants is the standard. So that's a little lower than America, I think. I don't eat out much to know. Tipping is only done if you are happy with the service, so it's less customary as it is in America. Do keep that in mind if you want to save some money, or if you are kind, generously donate. No tip for coffee or drink. Of course, you can leave the change. What does this mean? So for tapas or a sandwich in a bar, the change from the nearest euro is sufficient. So bars in Europe are like sandwich shops. Keep that in mind. It is not customary, likewise, to tip taxi drivers. So tipping your like World Youth Day bus driver, $1 per person per day. It's pretty good standard right there. So this is a little important. Documentation. Let's go on to this. Every person entering Portugal needs to have an up-to-date passport. Hopefully you already have that by the time we're watching this video. Maybe people will watch this a few years from now. So yeah, definitely get your passport. Get a passport. You can't leave your country most likely without a passport. If you lose your passport or it is stolen, just go to the nearest U.S. embassy to get a replacement. So it also is advisable to have a scanned copy of your passport to make this process easier. So pack one with you, or an email copy, or email a copy to your phone. Yeah, just print out like a paper passport or something. I'll figure out something to do that. There's the U.S. Embassy's address. Definitely write that down in the inside of one of your socks so you don't forget that address. Write their phone number down as well on the other sock. So yeah, hopefully you don't lose anything after 5 o'clock because they close at 5 o'clock. So keep those things in mind. Just I wouldn't worry too much about them. Just worry more about not losing your passport. So will I need a visa to enter Portugal? So it's not required, um, not required for American or Canadian citizens, uh, minors. It is advisable and usually required that all minors not traveling with a parent have a notarized letter stating that they have permission to travel to World Youth Day with a named group leader or chaperone. So I imagine that was a problem back in like the 40s when all of these youths would just jump on these trains and go to these events. Um, Not that World Youth Day is around back then, but minors, if you are under the age of 18, do bring that notarized letter. We're about done here. We'll finish under an hour. I promise. So, safety tips. Everyone's favorite section, safety tips. What happens if someone gets separated from the group? If you do get separated from the group, as your group is moving about the city, stay where you are. That is a very key thing to remember. When the group realizes that you are missing, 3 or 4 people will be sent back to look for you. If it is possible, call the cell phone number of your guide or the traveling group member, that if you do have that option. There will be many volunteers around the city. Ask if you can use their cell phone, or just pop into like a nearby call center. If you get lost at the papal vigil, well, you're out of luck. You're lost for good. But there is some luck, some silver linings if that happens to you. You should just try to reach your guide by phone. If you don't have a phone, look for a JMJ youth flag. Hopefully a lot of people are using this JMJ because I've done shouted them out a few times, and all of this material comes from them. So thank you to JMJ. Just go to that flag, and the group there will be able to help you. So every group should designate a regrouping point before entering the main events. That is very good to remember. It's like the saying, if you're walking into the woods, just look up and see if there's like a water tower that you're under. And remember that water tower. So if you're stuck miles in the woods, you just look out for a water tower. Then you know exactly where to go. That comes from personal experience. I once went out hiking and got lost for 2 hours. Though there's plenty of things like water towers and things to just look for if I only knew that beforehand. So yeah, hopefully my struggle will help you not get lost at World Youth Day. Every group, I already said that, make this designation a church, a park, or a restaurant. It should be a familiar place the group knows, to which they can return in the event or separation or chaos of separation or chaos in the very large crowds. If no one finds you after a few hours, well, then you're out of luck. And you can't reach anyone by phone, again, you're out of luck. Just make your way back to the hotel. You should have the hotel name, address, and phone numbers with you at all times. Write that in one of your socks. You should also ask any uninformed police officer, not uninformed, yeah, it's getting late. I thought there was in there. Uniformed police officer. If you see a police officer, ask them for directions. A taxi will also be able to help you get back. If you do go to the hotel, definitely call the guide to let him or her know that you're at the hotel or you're heading back to the hotel. We'll quickly look through a few popular sites. We got through the main material, so hope you all enjoyed this lecture. It's been my pleasure to present it to everyone. But yeah, let's get to the fun part now. The popular tourist destinations. Popular attractions for the free time that you have during all of these events. And I just noticed I was not sharing my tab. Good thing I looked back. And I have no idea how to pronounce this destination. Castello de Sao Jorge. Every day, 9 a.m. to 9 o'clock. Costs a bit of money right there. It is one of the most recognized major attractions, and you just heard my bedtime alarm. That means I need to go to sleep, but I'll wrap things up. You have St. George's Castle, which commands a glorious position near Alfama on the crown of a hill overlooking the Portuguese capital. It has impressive battlements, an engaging museum, and fascinating archaeological sites. Definitely check out this castle. That does sound very interesting. So you also have a 16th century monastery named Hieronymus. It's one of the great landmarks of Portugal as well. So this document's a little hard to navigate, but you do have Lisbon's cathedral, of course. So this thing was built or was consecrated in the 1200s, so it's very old. I'm sure it looks very beautiful. You see a blend of architectural styles since it did get destroyed by an earthquake back in 1755, if anyone remembers that terrible earthquake. The standout features being the twin castellated bell towers that embellish the downtown skyline. Check that out when the sun is setting in the afternoon. It says the sun burnishes the brickwork riverfront in the most attractive Lisbon Belém neighborhood. You do also have the monastery. Is that talking about the same thing? Yeah, so lots of monasteries, castles, churches. Torre de Belém. It is very old as well, from the age of discovery. You remember the Portuguese were on top back then, before the Americans came along. So this was a fortress as well back then. Golden veneer towers and rose windows and a gloomy interior. Many valuable artifacts in the cathedral. Silverware, all that Portuguese silver from all the way back in the day, you can see there. So yeah, it says it was also built, this is kind of interesting, on Roman or Moorish dwellings. So it was built over the ruins of a mosque. If you recall correctly, before the Reconquista, Spain was populated by the Muslims. So this cathedral here, or not cathedral, kind of forget, getting them all mixed up now. Torre de Belém. It does have that Islamic heritage, and the Roman heritage. So it's been around for years. Lots of cool things to check out. And we better hurry this up if I'm going to get done before the top of the hour. Flights. This is the last section. flights. Yeah, I think you should have already gotten your tickets. Check your luggage restrictions. If you do need to request special meals, you'll definitely find your tickets from your group leader. You'll get those. I was trying to wrap up before the hour mark, but yeah, I think it'll be a very fun trip. World Youth Day. It was founded by St. Pope John Paul II back in the 80s. That's my guess. 80s or 90s. It says youth in the title, but really it's just an event for the universal church, and that's the beauty of it, to attract all these people from all these different countries and putting them together. So, like, what's the worst thing that can happen when 1 million or 3 million Catholics get together? Hopefully amazing things, and I'm sure there will be many great experiences that this trip will allow to happen. So definitely, as we look forward to this trip, 40 days away or so, start your fast, start your penances of walking, get prepared for this trip so that you can enjoy it. That is all of my advice. I was trying to make a good outro. You'll have to check out this theme song on your own if you want to hear the full thing. I don't want to get copyrighted by the Vatican. I know they're very, very touchy about that. However, let's end with this. So this just shows the events of World Youth Day. This video might be a little outdated, but it will give you a general sense of the entire week. That has been all for me.
Officially kicks off.
Hopefully you enjoyed this presentation. Do share it with anyone you know that's going on World Youth Day. I'll probably try to buy a camera or something. Maybe I'll do some interviews while I'm in Portugal, interview some of the pilgrims, or at least I'll write about it when I get back home to publish those. I think it is a unique opportunity for me. Yeah, it's really what the church needs, just to use these methods of internet evangelization to kind of spread the faith. That's kind of what my purpose in making this video was, just to help people learn about World Youth Day. The church has done a bit, but it seems like there could be more informational guides out there. So hopefully this does help a ton of people. If you want more information on World Youth Day, or you have any videos you want me to make, I'll admit I have no idea what World Youth Day is. I've been saying that since I've signed up for the trip. I didn't even know Fatima was in Portugal until like the first meeting my group had for the trip. See, I don't know much. I'm probably not the best guy to ask, but hopefully I can present information well. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. May God bless you all, and may God bless everyone's pilgrimage. Thank you for watching.
Off on a Tuesday evening with a mass with a local archbishop. Wednesday morning begins catechesis sessions, where pilgrims break up into language groups. The primary focus is a bishop, archbishop, or cardinal giving a catechetical teaching to the youth, along with music and testimonies, followed by a mass. After lunch on Wednesday, there are dozens of cultural festivals, film festivals, and breakout sessions that pilgrims can choose between. Thursday begins with a catechesis until lunch, followed by more cultural festivals that pilgrims can choose to attend. Thursday evening is the welcoming ceremony with the Holy Father. Friday has the final catechesis session with even more cultural festivities in the afternoon, concluding in the evening with the Stations of the Cross with the Holy Father. On Saturday morning, groups prepare for the pilgrimage walk with mass and breakfast. They are provided with boxes of food and begin to travel to the final vigil site, usually a long walk, somewhere out of town. Walking many miles is an important part of the pilgrimage experience. Saturday evening is the vigil, where the Holy Father joins the pilgrims to give his main address for World Youth Day, usually followed by adoration of the Blessed Sacrament. Everyone spends the night out under the stars and wakes up on Sunday to celebrate the final Mass with the Holy Father. At the end of Mass, the Holy Father will announce the location of the next World Youth Day. After Mass, the pilgrims work their way back to their lodging, often walking the way they came. No puedo callar, no puedo dejar de cantar.
mi Senhor. Cuenta conmigo, não mais callaré. Todos vão ouvir a nossa voz. Batemos os braços, à pressa no ar. Jesus vive e não nos deixa sós. Não mais deixaremos.